Right guys, as promised, a fully 3D printed handgun that's mag fed, 3D printed bullets, and shoots quite fine. Good little gun, little bullets. I'll show you closer soon. I've tried building it up on camera, which was a complete nightmare 4 or 5 times, so we're going to show you how it is just now, and then we're going to take it apart and show you how it all goes together. All parts, all files are from the same person. Link will be in the description. Comes from a creator over at Thingiverse. So yeah, let's get it shooting. See? Wicked little gun. We've lost now about 25 bullets around the house, and we've got to get them found because we do have a cat and a dog. So yeah, we've had a good laugh with it. It's been an excellent little gun, and yeah, we'll get it set up and we'll start taking it apart and show you how it goes together. Very easy build. Okay, so I've just had to break the part on the bottom because I didn't realise, well I did know that I glued it in place because it was a little bit slack and wobbly, so I put a little spot of glue on it and stuck it into place and forgot I'd have to take it apart to show you. So yeah, I've had to pop that off. I'll just glue that, it'll not matter. But yeah, it was just to show you how it goes together and how it works. But nice design, very simple, very cool. Just how sleek everything is. Right, so take these pins out the mag, and we'll see that the mag follower actually just slots up inside it. So you'd put an elastic band through like so, and it would just slot up inside. Then you just use something to poke it all the way down, and while it's up there you would reach in through the side pockets and adjust the bands so that the hole going through the side, you can fit a pin straight through the band, and then just do the same on the other side. Hook the band up, do the same thing, get the loop up, get the pin from this side through the hoop, and that will support your billet follower, and then that will give it the pressure needed to, you would need to pull this down out the way under some elastic tension, slot your bullet in, and it would take the tension back up again. You just load all your bullets like that. So it actually works like a real mag, which is excellent. Now we'll move on from here and we'll take a look at the gun. First off, we're going to take the slide mechanism off because it's the final part that needs to go on the way it has to attach onto the insides. I actually put this gun together back to front. They say you'd be better off leaving it on its right side to start fitting the parts, and I started with the left, which soon became apparent why you shouldn't do that. But it can still be done. Right, so there's the slide. These screw holes in here are actually holding on to, if we cock the gun, we have a loose part up here that slides under the rail. It actually has a little shark fin coming down, and it's what slides over the projectile and then pulls the projectile out of the magazine. So I'll have a look at that. This is going to need a bit of unscrewing, so I'll bring you back in a moment. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this first green side because that's going to expose the screws that we actually need to get to open up the rest of the gun, which there's a couple here. Now there's this part here, which the opposing side is actually one of the first pieces to go into the gun. This little linkage arm. It fits between. There's another one of these at the other side, and there's pins that go in between both these holes over to the opposing side. So see the pin sticking up here and here. This little indentations where it fits, there's one on the other side. That has to be like the first part put in the gun. Right, so I'll get the rest of these unscrewed. Right, okay, before I open it up, the elastic band, now mine's is wrapped around a couple of times, but if you were just using one powerful band, it would go around the barrel, it would just come straight up and lock into this green thing on the back, which is like a sear hammer. Right, so it just wraps around like that, so when you want to fire you would just pull the trigger and that would just release this block and shoot forward. So this has to be taken apart just now. Take that off, and then we open the gun up. Now we have one pen spring here, or a part of pen spring, which when our way we'll zoom in for you. Right, you see this hole up the back of the sear here? This is where the spring's going to go. There's a little guide. It's hard to see, it's built into the plastic. You maybe see it there. A big indent channel in here. So that spring sits in there, like so. And this smaller piece of spring here is what I put into the back of the mag catch lock. Just a small piece. It was actually, I had two pen springs to start with, a stretch that chopped it, and I ruined it by turning the spring a different shape. So it fits right in there, and of course the mag lock pin. So that's the only two springs that are in there, so at most you'll need two pen springs. Right, it's the only springs there is there in the whole gun. So if we take these parts away, and we can show the barrel's actually held in at the other side just now, but we can take the top part off, which also has a metal pin through it. So there's a little chunk on the back with a hole, so when you slot it inside you just pin straight through all three of them. I just used this bit of metal here. It was from an old bird cage that was in the attic, so just chopped bars of that, fit perfectly. And this is the plunger rod that will get sent into the bullet, smacking down inside the barrel, that will send the projectile out. It will back off a bit. Right, so that's that piece, and then you have the billet follower, which this is a hole straight through, but there needs to be a screw coming in from both sides, but not interfering with the gap in the middle, because this rides on this rod, well, the rod rides through it, so there can be nothing trapping that rod or stopping that rod from moving, or your projectile will just barely come out the barrel. So that's that piece there. We have the trigger, which just slots over the pins that are in place, which I'll show you in a moment. And we also have this sear is over the two pins, so when we remove that you can see that one pin is in the body, but the other pin comes from this part here, the trigger bar. There's a pin in this side and a pin in that side. I installed two big pins first, placed it into the side of the gun, and then fit this side on just to keep it in place, and it worked fine. The pins out. So yeah, other pins that I used for the smaller version of pins was just little nails. Just chopped the nails up, just had this smooth surface, just so that everything inside wasn't jamming and was free to move. Don't think putting oil in this would help. So yeah, take the screw out from the other side. The barrel goes in from a screw on either side. So one screw from one side would go in here, and the other screw would be on the opposing side. There's your barrel, where your 3D printed bullet gets sent down and pushed into here, and then when you fire, the plunger rod Comes whipping back under the power of the elastic band and whacks it straight out the other end. Just like so. So not that complicated to put together. Very cool design. Nice and smooth when it's all done. Everything fits perfectly. Pretty cool that you can make all these parts and yet all you need is possibly one pen spring or two, a couple of nails to put it together. Of course the side's still on. I recommend that you do it from the right side, and that is because the mag release pin, it's a balancing act trying to get that to stay in its place. So if you have it on the side where it's closed, then it's got no way of falling out and you can tinker about as much as you want without cracking up. But yeah, that's how it goes together, that's how it comes apart. Very cool gun. Link will be in the description for any of this stuff, and look out for more weapons videos coming soon. You could build this. It took me a couple of days, I've done things at separate times, but yeah, pretty much went flawlessly, no issues. I did have a little bit of bad luck not paying attention to my settings, and I hadn't put supports on, but it's nothing. And when I remake it, I'll learn by my mistakes, so next time I make one, there should be none of that. So making it in fancy colours or gold and stuff. Yeah, definitely going to be one on my best prints list, so I'll keep that one. Very cool gun. Right, well that's it for me in this time, guys. I don't want to drag this one out too long. So if you're into things like 3D printing or homemade weapons, self-made weapons, things like that, DIY weaponry, I'll be making a whole bunch in the future. So I'll go for just now, but yeah, any problems with this, just ask. I'll answer any questions. So it's pretty much easy to put together. But yeah, all you need is a couple of nails, couple of springs. So remember, hit that subscribe if you want to see future videos, anything like this. It helps me know which videos are wanting to be seen, so I know which ones to concentrate on. And yeah, if you like the video, stick a thumbs up. Bye for now, guys.